Okay, this is a little different for Happy Ass, but I feel like for these next 2 episodes, and I'll put this on both of them, I have a trigger warning. This episode is about drug addiction, alcoholism. It may get a little more graphic than I normally get, and maybe this is definitely not an episode for young children. So I just want you to be forewarned that we are going to talk about some things that I don't normally talk about, but I feel like there's hurting families and there's hurting people out there that need recovery and need hope. And I hope that our family's story might help you. So thank you so much for loving us. Thank you for waking up with Happy Ass, where we come together to grow in mind, body, and spirit so we can in turn go out and make the world a brighter and sweeter place to live for ourselves and for others. What you did not see just now was when I started, I just was brain dead for just a moment and just went, what am I doing? So that's okay. That's okay. We're here. So I'm very excited today. I'm thanking my sponsors, Hughes Salon, Amore Boutique, Kevin Kennerson with Lending Head Mortgage, my sweet friend Chris Dixon with American Home Shield, and you'll hear more about others later, but I gotta get to my guest. I kind of know this guest. I'm gonna go ahead and just preface it by saying this guest has given me more time with Jesus than any other person I know.
Let's go.
So, Sheldon, how do you know me? Tell me how you know me.
This is my lovely mother who birthed me, this crazy guy right here. But hey, I also want to give a shout out to my sponsor. You know who you are.
And you know what?
If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying?
I'm very happy that you have a sponsor.
Yeah, for sure.
Hughes Big Book here too.
But anyways, this is my lovely mother. Don't let her tininess and stature fool you. This has been an amazing woman. It's actually been really, really cool to watch what my mom's done, whether I've been close or far. It's been really, really cool to watch her go from single mom to businesswoman. I mean, in all kinds of different avenues, from tutoring kids to Mary Kay. God, what else did you used to do? I don't. She used to do like a million other things, but to watch her build what she's built with her business has been pretty spectacular. But that's not even the coolest thing done. The coolest thing that she's done is give back to her community. And I think it's probably because she knows how much the community helped us when we were younger, growing up, and made sure that our life felt somewhat normal in the little bit of chaos that was going on. So that's been kind of, I don't know, just her adversity and her resilience to bounce back from all kinds of things, because I was a raging drug addict for so many years, and I would get right and I would go back out. I'd get right and go back out. And how that woman survived that and was able to build what she built in the mix of all that is nothing short of a miracle, I think. So I don't know. I'm kind of ranting now, but
I like this rant. I like this. I'm just making this mama happy. You know, Sheldon, I said in the very beginning that I spent more time with Jesus because of you than any of my kids. But I spoke yesterday at FSU, and I didn't talk to you about it. And actually, my love letter that's going out on Wednesday is different than most of my love letters. I put out to my happy ass audience the letter I wrote about you and the drug addiction and things like that, because it's been your drug addiction and the struggles have probably, it's just been something we've just dealt with for so long, and we've certainly learned so many lessons from it. And Hugh said something before he passed away, and you just can't judge when people are going to get it. You just can't. Hugh said the light is in him. He said the light is in him. And the sad news is you were not even around when Hugh died because you were in jail.
Yeah, I was locked up.
Locked up in jail. Mm-hmm. And so the reason for this podcast today with you is to give hope to the mamas and the daddies and the sisters and the brothers and the addict himself, because there is no cure, but there is a daily reprieve. based on your spiritual condition. Can you tell I've read this book a couple times?
For sure.
So tell me how I don't even know where to start with this. We were, your father left when you were very young. We ended up being just broke as a joke. I was working so many jobs. I was never at home because I was working, I was teaching, I was doing all the things. And you found yourself getting into trouble. And this is what is heartbreaking. You started experimenting with drugs at a very young age.
Yeah, I think about that actually. I have a 12-year-old now, and we go to Surfside, and we go watch his football games and everything. And I was like, wow, it's so crazy because you know how sweet Jed is, and how
he's so
how
sweet.
awesome he is. He's so well mannered, and I was like, wow, I caught my first charges at that age. It's kind of hard to wrap my head around. It's also really hard to wrap my head around when I used to teach dance. When I would see some of these kids and the age they were, and I was like, man, I was popping pills and smoking and just doing all the crazy things at that age. I mean, and when you see it in person, because your brain plays tricks on you, but when you see how young in adolescence these kids are, to think that I started using that and started messing with the chemistry in my brain at that young of an age, it's pretty wild. But you know what? I can say that I think it's really important for a man to have a man in his life that's a positive influence. Because here's what happened. Me and my dad are good these days. I accept him, for who he is. And if I look at what I've done to my children, I have no room to judge my father and what he's done, but I think that what really happened is, when you don't have a positive male role model as a young, confused male, you'll just latch on to any male in your life. And for me, I hung around older kids. So those older kids were already drinking, smoking, straight West Coasting, And I thought, so bad when I look at it, I just wanted to be socially accepted. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. Was maybe I had this void, my dad left. And this isn't like a sorrow story. I'm grateful for everything that happened to me because it got me to where I am now. But, I just think maybe I'm not good enough. So if I impress these boys by doing this or getting in a fight over here or doing that, then maybe they'll like me. But I will tell you, I think my first probably real addiction was adrenaline. Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
Was adrenaline, almost hurting myself on my skateboard or bicycling or doing things that I just wasn't supposed to do, vandalizing. I mean, I had this mischievous wildness in me from a really young age. I mean, remember I shot Chris Roberts with a slingshot from a tree one day when they were coming back from
shot
surfing?
Out the back of my CRV.
I did. And I look back at this and I'm like, what would I have done with my kid if I acted like that? I don't even know. I was off the chain, You
were off the chain.
But I was sweet, but I was just off the chain. It's just really weird oxymoron. It's I was a kid you knew you did not want your kid hanging out with, but I would kill you with my charisma in your face so well that they'd be like, he's all right, But you didn't want your kids hanging out with me at a certain age. I promise you that.
Well, the bad news for us parents, and especially for a single mom, is... I wrote in that love note that's going to go out Wednesday that I went to a play with you doing Rapping Rudolph, and you were so darling and precious, and then the next day you're smoking pot. I mean, and and I look back now, and I don't beat myself up about it, but I know a lot of moms go, well, where in the world were you? Well, I was always there. I mean, I was working a lot. But I wasn't a mom that was going out to bars. I wasn't I wasn't dating. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. But you just don't know, because you addicts are really good at fooling people.
Well, especially at first.
After a while it catches up with you.
After a while you just get tired and it gets exhausting. I think you want to be found out because it's just exhausting. But at first, it's I
think what parents need to hear is the thing that helped me was going to a 12-step program, because you are absolutely powerless to change anyone. I know I've got friends that don't understand it. We call them earth people.
For sure, earthlings.
They're earthlings. They've never had addiction in their family, which I can't even imagine because everybody's an addict in our family but the cat, But, well, of course, my daughter's
addicted to catnip.
Not. Yeah, catnip. But, it's just a lot of addiction in our family. And I had to go get help but because other people didn't, they thought that if you kept having consequences, you would eventually get okay. And you've been to probably 20 rehabs.
Oh, yeah.
20 rehabs.
For sure.
So I'm going to ask you, just going to cut to the chase, because we've been through it all. We've been through teen court. We've been to every rehab imaginable. We've been to detox centers. We've been to hospitals. We have done the gamut.
Death,
So, and we're going to talk about that one for sure. But what is different now, Sheldon? What's different now? Because you're sober now.
Yep, clean and sober. Man,
What's
I don't.
different?
It's weird. I get asked this question a lot. And there's a part in the big book where it's like we ceased fighting anything and everything. And, there's been a lot of times where I said I'm done. Like, I'm done, I'm done. And it's almost like a checked box, But I feel like there's something sometimes in your soul where you just get so exhausted and you get so tired. You're like, you know what? Like, I'm done. Like, I don't care whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever I have to do daily to not pick up again. Mm-hmm. Because I was so sick of that lifestyle. It's so sad. It's so lonely. It's so broken. I've, not to sound cocky or anything, but I'm a very talented young man. And every opportunity that I've ever had with dancing, skateboarding, the little time I spent in real estate, every single thing that I've ever picked up, I've excelled in so fast and so quick. And, I've given it away because of addiction.
Yeah, you've lost it to addiction.
So the number one thing is God. Like, God has to be first. It has to be God first, and then everything else follows, right? I'm going to say this word, and it's called recovery. I work a program of recovery, right? People get so bent out of shape about this topic sometimes. But recovery, when I say recovery, just know that I mean God first. That's it. Like all recovery is having a relationship with God and being able to honestly face and look at yourselves and always look in the mirror. Recovery doesn't teach you about what they did. It teaches you about taking responsibility in your actions and what you have done. What I realize is I could play a victim for the rest of my life. I could always be the victim, but I was never going to be victorious if I was always the victim. You know what I mean? I had to put down the victim mentality so I could be the victor. Right? I held on to all this stuff, and I held on to, Rochelle passing away, my dad leaving, some other traumatizing things that I went through as a child. I used these things. I was a victim, but that was my fuel to get high for so long. You know what I mean? Oh, poor pitiful me, poor pitiful me. You know how the saying goes, pour me another drink.
Pour me another one.
So I guess here's the thing too, that I want to tell parents. And I'm not a parent, so I don't know. She can tell you better than I can tell you this. But if you baby an addict, you bury an addict. Mm-hmm. My mom has gotten me the starter pack so many times. Yeah. And what I mean by that, everybody that's listening, I want you to really, really, really listen, especially parents and addicts. Listen, if I could get my hands on $300 of dope a day without no job, without no car, without nothing, right? You can buy yourself a phone when you get out of rehab. You can get yourself a job when you get out of rehab. You can figure out how to pay rent when you get out of rehab. You don't need anything from anybody. What you need is some stuff from God, and you need to stand on your own 2 feet, because what I learned is nobody can take that stuff away from me if I work for it except for me. Right? If she gives it to me, I don't appreciate it. Mm-hmm. It's just like there's a part in the Bible, and I'm not what is that called? Anyways, I'm not like a super well-versed on the Bible, but it's like what is quickly gained is quickly basically given away. Mm-hmm. Like you don't appreciate it. So starting from dead ground up, look, I'm 37 years old and I'm restarting my life over, and I am so freaking grateful because I'm not dead. I'm not in prison. The places that I've been, that I've came out of, and I've survived, and I still have my teeth, and I think sometimes people see the way that I'm dressed up now and the way that I take care of myself, and you guys have really no idea of the hell and the depths of the hell that I've been through.
And you put yourself through.
That I put myself
Yeah.
through. And let me tell you how powerful your brain is. See, I suffer from a disease of perception. Drugs and alcohol is just is my solution. It's just a symptom of my disease. So let me tell you how crazy this is. I grew up in Panama City Beach, which is, we got some little trashy parts, but it's not like everybody's thugging around here and there's a bunch of gang banging going on and all kinds of crazy stuff, But I fed myself nothing but gangster flicks, hip hop music, and drugs. And what I feed your brain, it's like good wolf, bad wolf. You know what I mean? Whatever you feed will grow. So here I am, this white boy from Panama City Beach. And, at one point in time, my addiction, I was homeless in Bakersfield, California, which is just, if anybody's from there, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's bumping out there, as we would say. And I survived out there with no house, no money, just a suitcase. That's it. I figured it out.
Beat up when it got home.
But anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. But I went along, right?
No, it's true. And the hardest thing for parents to do, and for me as a loving mom, you always think there's one more thing you could do. Mm-hmm. And I'll remember very well when we took you to, well, Hugh had already passed away by now. Because Hugh was never alive when you were at Haven House, right? He was already gone.
Yeah, he passed away in 2018, right after Rochelle did.
You were in jail. Rochelle died in 2017 and Hugh in 2018.
Yeah.
And that's when I got the children. And I remember Rochelle, your wife, was she was really heavy into alcohol more than heroin, but that's what ultimately took her out was the heroin. But it was just a horrible life, and I had the kids a lot, and Hugh and I had already spoken about we knew we would probably end up getting the children, and you had a lucid enough moment to know that until you got better, the kids would be better off with us.
For sure.
You didn't fight me on that, which was really wonderful. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing. You went to the Haven House, and I remember we talked about starter pack. Every time Sheldon would get sober, I go to Old Navy, buy him some underwear, buy him some socks, get him a suitcase, make sure he had all the things he needed for his little rehab so he could be comfortable, And that was not doing him any favors. It was not doing him any favors. And I will say that by the time you were in Bakersfield and I was done, that's why he was alive then, because we had taken you to Teen Challenge. Yeah. We had dropped you off at Teen Challenge. Yep. You weren't even there 24 hours and you went AWOL. Yep. 24 hours you went AWOL. So Hugh and I come on back home, and I had finally decided I was done. I wasn't even going to buy you a hamburger. People thought I was so mean. They said, "You're not going to feed him?" I go, "No, because if you feed an addict, they will take that other money and they'll buy drugs with it."
Yep.
So I stopped doing that. And when we went to the Haven House, fast forward, I remember going there, and you said to me, "Mom, I left so-and-so." And the guy there, he said, he did like this, like he said, "Nope." He bailed or something. He said, "Nope." He said he has everything he needs. He needs nothing. Yeah. And that was hard for me. And I learned that through going to a 12-step program for the family members. And it's you can't give them a home. You just really can't help them. And that's so hard for a mama to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, hard.
You give us an inch, we take a mile. And then we expect things. That happens for so long. Then I feel entitled to what you own. Mm-hmm. Like literally, genuinely, you're so delusional and you're not thinking right. I mean, I can remember at one time, my mom's built this beautiful company, and somehow in my head, like I'm a part of that and never done any work to be a part of that. Obviously I did, work a little bit for a little period of time, and that's not even really important. But It's weird when you continuously help a drug addict who's in active addiction at that. It's so sick. I think the most beautiful thing that the Haven House did for me in that sense was gave us enough time separated from each other to where I could appreciate people just coming to see me. Like if you would have came any earlier, I would have been. I still smoked at that time. Remember, I smoked. Oh, I can't even think of that. But I still smoked, and if they would have came any earlier, instead of being grateful to see my parents, I'd be like, "Hey, Mom, can I get a 12-pack of Mountain Dew and some Marlboro Reds?" Like for real, that's what I'm not like. Hey, it's awesome to see you. Yeah, it's crazy. There's still things that I do every single day that I learned at the Haven House, as hard and as rigid as that program was. There's still things.
It's like going to the military.
It really
much
is.
It's
It
like
very
a
much
military
is.
camp.
You know what I love? I love when I'm in meetings and I hear guys complaining about their cushy ass rehab, they're whining about it. I'm like, dude, you have no idea. We had to be up at 5 a.m, shaved, bed made, military inspected, go do chores, 2 seconds to do this, right over to the kitchen, 5 minutes to eat, go back on the porch, go to work all day, come back, dinner, clean, chores.
They didn't care if you were sick either. You still went to work.
No, I remember when I was in there, I was so terrified to tell them that I had something wrong with me that I laid on my floor in my bed in agony. And I had been there for 9 months. So I had I was doing the do and had a good reputation. And come to find out I had a kidney stone. So they ended up taking me to the ER. And they're like, dude, you should have came sooner. And I was like, I was just trying to tough it out. But anyways, that place was great for me. The Haven House, I know that it's not for everybody, but I encourage you, if you don't have children or if you can go commit yourself to somewhere for 9 months and learn how to be a freaking man and learn how to take responsibility in yourself and do all that, I would do it in a heartbeat if I was anybody out there struggling, for sure. Because it gives you a better chance. And they don't coddle you. I feel like it a lot. Listen, I don't want to go too far into this, but the business of rehab disgusts me. I'm sorry.
Remember, Hugh used to get upset about it,
I'm just going
too.
to publicly say that. The reason what I do works so well is because nobody's profiting off of it. We are giving back our time. And if you look behind the curtains of the rehab business, it is filthy and it disgusts me.
Can be.
It can be. I'm sorry. You're right. Let me not put everybody in the same category. But yes, it's pretty gross. So...
You went to one, the first one that you went to, oh my God, was bougie.
Remember we had prime rib Friday?
Oh my God, it was, y'all.
What kind of cut would you want? Do you want medium rare?
I'm here almost embarrassed to tell it. You were 17.
I turned 17.
You turned 17 in there. Hugh and I sent you to Cumberland Heights, and it was, oh my gosh, you gained weight in there because the food was ridiculous. They had chefs and had horseback riding and massages. It was like a daggum med spa.
Yeah, I've been on...
all the other ones were not, though, but that was.
Yeah, it was cooler than a lot of vacations I've paid to go on.
Well, we paid dearly for it. It was like $30,000 for a month.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
$30,000 per month.
Oh, I know, and that's part of the
crazy.
Some of the craziness that I'm talking about.
So I want to ask you this because people don't. I have my friends all the time that say this to me. I wish I had a nickel for this, but surely Sheldon, he lost his job. He lost his car. He lost his children. He lost his wife. Surely that's the bottom. Yeah. And normal people will say that to me, and I go, guess what? I don't know what the bottom is. Sometimes the bottom is death. It is. But I can't judge where your bottom is. A normal person that has that much stuff, like if I had that much stuff happening to me, I'm going, I think I need to do something different. But people don't understand, once your mind is taken over by drugs and alcohol, it changes your brain and mind chemistry. Changes it.
Completely does.
It has to have a psychic change.
For sure.
For something to happen.
Yeah.
So.
So here it is. We have this huge God-sized hole, right? All right, let's put it in our chest as an analogy. and we're just trying to fill it with something. We feel so uncomfortable in our own skin. We just want to fill it with something. And little do we know it's God that we're looking for, something greater than ourselves, if you're uncomfortable with that word. But it's weird, you know. What I've learned is a bottom is an inside job. It has nothing to do with your outside surroundings. So kind of at first, when like the pioneers of AA came around, it was really for like really low bottom drunks. Like in your head, what you picture is like the hobo that's bumming change with a 40-ounce drinking on the streets, right? That's what they pictured in their head. And those were the kind of alcoholics that they really worked with. But thank God over the years, people have come to know some more, and it's like, your bottom doesn't have to be there. You know, you don't have to lose your wife. You don't have to die. You don't have to ruin every single opportunity that you've ever had in any career field. You don't have to rob. You don't have to steal. You don't have to go to jail 22 times. You don't have to be homeless in the streets. You don't have to do any of that. You know, there's some people, which is really, really cool how it's kind of changed over time, that come in that their life was unmanageable because they were smoking too much pot. And you know, for an addict like me, sometimes I look at that and I'm like, what is he doing here? But how awesome is that they're there and they don't have to go to the extreme lengths that I went to or some of these other people went to get it. And I think I'm just like a little stubborn, a little hard-headed, and I like the hard route. But I mean, I want to sit here and take credit for this and be like, yo, I'm a survivor, I'm a soldier. But what I truly believe in my heart, which is why this is the most important thing to me, is that I believe, like, it's weird. I'm not going to say, like, God put me through that stuff. I believe God was using that for his testimony. You know, because it's not me, it's him, right? Like, you can't, if I sat here and went and named off every single thing that I went to and that I've experienced, it would have broke most people. But with God's help, it's gotten me on a platform being able to talk about, like, being vulnerable. The world's so full of fakeness right now. There's AI, there's filters on everything. You don't know what to believe anymore at all, and it's disgusting. So I started being authentic on social media, and it's just transpired. You know, I don't even remember the question that you asked me.
Sheldon, you know, when you got here today, you said, Mom, do you have any questions? And I normally do. I normally have questions. But you and I said, you know, we're just going to sit here and talk. We're just going to sit here and talk and be honest and raw for people so they can see that this is a ugly, devastating disease. But there is hope. And so what we're going to do is, because we've got a lot more to talk about, we're going to do a part 2, honey.
Right, let's go.
We're coming back for part 2. But before we go, I like you, I'm going to thank God. I'm going to thank God. He's a pretty good sponsor for me, actually. That's a good one. And I am going to thank Lucky's Pine Straw, which he doesn't mind me saying. Good old Scooter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go, Scooter.
Love Scooter.
We love that guy. And I want to thank Minutes and Miles and my precious people at Hughes Salon and at Amore, Baytax. But we'll hear more about them at another time. But you remember what I say when I leave here, Sheldon? What do I say?
Be sweet, y'all.